call this meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. tonight on November 10th. Thank you all for joining, and Susan is remote. Thanks for joining us. Oh, yeah, we need to do roll call because Susan is remote. So Mark Mareski, aye. Here, present. Roll call.
It's because she's on Zoom.
To call to order, you don't need a vote.
No,
No,
just,
but
you're just saying you're here.
We have to call roll call, right?
Yeah, when there's a vote.
Oh,
Only for-
Wherever
there's
no
Jackie
motion.
said when we open the meeting.
No, just when you open the meeting, all of your votes need to be roll
Oh,
calls.
I thought you
So
said.
you do
for
not
us
need
to
to
open.
attendance.
No, I just took it. that
I
you
felt
said-
like saying my name out loud.
You did it
For the
super well.
recording, yeah.
It was very well
All right.
done.
so
Mark
I can get it
Mareski?
right.
Again, here, welcome everyone. Okay. Move to approval of the meeting minutes for meetings, excuse me, dated September 8th, October 20th, October 23rd, and October 27th, the latter two of which were in executive session. We just got the executive session minutes tonight, so maybe we can take a 20 seconds to look them over and they're accurate.
So I'll move to approve all four
I had one,
sets.
I had one correction, Trustee, you'll appreciate it. The Z was left out in my name. On page 2 of the October 20th. Thank you. I second the motion with the edit, as I mentioned, for October 20th.
All in favor? Aye.
Well,
Oh,
I'll
roll
call the
call.
roll.
I'm sorry.
Susan,
Aye.
Maria,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and so am I, so it's unanimous.
Thank you very much. Nice work there.
Nice following the rule.
That was great. Excellent. Good work.
Now you've won.
Those are approved. We're gonna move to the Friends of the Flint. Sandy Wilton, if you have a
I do just have a quick update.
Great.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
Our annual campaign is currently at $4,850, which is very robust because normally our funds come in January. So we're in a good situation. The Friends did approve $2,500 for landscaping at the library to do primarily the fall clean, trim back bushes. As you may have noticed when you walked in, the hydrangea, the beautiful hydrangea plants that are in the front have been trimmed back. So we're very happy about that. We did get the glow in the dark necklaces for the pumpkin festival, and Mark was kind enough to make arrangements to have those distributed, which is great. Then our next big thing is the turkey trot, which is on 11/27, which is obviously Thanksgiving Day. And they're very generous and give quite a bit of money to us for programming. And Jackie, you have somebody who's going to be coordinating that, right?
Yeah, there were 2 custodians on to coordinate. They have very limited needs from us that morning, but we'll have 2 folks on.
Great. And we did send out a reminder postcard. We do this every year for people who have given in the past 3 years, but we haven't gotten, and I've already received $1,600, and it only costs us $50. So we'll, I think, see more and more come in for that. And I'm all set. Thank you, Mark.
Please.
Andy, can I just ask a question, please? Oh, sorry. Finger. You said that so far for this fiscal year, you raised 4,850. So is that that's not the total assets of the Friends of the Flint, though, right? The total assets are much more than that, right? And can you, because I'm not sure about how that works. you have a substantial sum put aside for total assets. What do you do with that? It just sits there? Like, I'm trying to understand that, because I saw a large amount of money. What is your current total assets?
When the facility was expanded, we had some money left over from the
This building?
building campaign,
Uh-huh.
and we decided to invest that in Fidelity Investments.
Mhm.
So we have a considerable amount of money there.
How much is that?
Yes,
Approximately.
yesterday I called them and it's $262,077.66.
Good number then. Because I do remember you talking to us a few years back about how we should, when we were using those, not using those funds, but holding the funds, and about how you guys did work. And thought Fidelity was a great place to put those funds that we had at one time, and now we're traveling with the town. But so that was from the fundraising of the building when it was built. So that's a large sum of money. Like, it just sits there? Do you not use it? Like, what is it
Last year we spent $87,000.
of that?
Mhm.
So it was an,
Building.
so it was an additional. Yep.
Carpets, landscaping, the clock. Yeah, we spend the money every year.
So you spent about 87 last year, so now you still have 262? Wow, that's
Yeah.
an incredible return.
Yeah, it was a very good investment. I put it in when the market was at the bottom. And
Right. Oh, wait, many years ago, that's when you started the building. So when you say the clock we didn't fix, we didn't do the clock yet.
There were some repairs done.
yes, we did repairs on
remember
the
that.
clock. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Oh, that one. Okay, the one we talked about before. That's not what we talked about recently, and it might be a lot more than.
It
What
is
we
gonna
think,
be a
yeah.
lot more.
Right. I was just trying to understand that. So you do use that money, because you don't raise enough to carry everything that you want to do and need to do for the library. So you pull some money from these investment monies as you think that they should be when you review
We
them?
only spend the building money on building things.
Only
We
building,
never, ever spend that money on programming.
is that
We
because
only
it's not
spend it
allowed?
on the
You-
facility and things that touch the building. So landscaping, carpeting,
Mhm.
upgrading something, someone puts a pencil through a chair and it needs to be
Mhm.
redone. That's how we spend that building money. The building funds are only spent on building
That's
issues that come up.
they don't, because you're restricted that way, I assume, based on what you said, the way you got the money from raising
Well,
for.
that's why, the people gave us the money for
Just for
building,
that.
so we're
Okay.
not gonna spend
Mhm.
the money they gave us on
No,
programming.
I'm trying to understand it, because I thought, wow, I saw it somewhere, I'm like, wait a minute, what is it, how is that? So I just wanted I thought it was what you had invested with, and I didn't realize how much you would spend each year, but it depends on what's going on with the library, and what comes up, right? Okay, great.
Right, but we only spend the building funds on building fund issues.
You mentioned, yes, that's pretty obvious, when just saying that, phrasing it that way. Yep, just want to understand it. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you for the update. I was saddened to not be able to attend the Pumpkin Festival, but happy to report that one of my friends stepped in for me and was put to work, and they seem to have had a great time, and
We really appreciate it.
they did good. Yeah, it was a great day. I was sad to have missed it, but I've probably missed 2 or 3 out of the past 15 or 20, so. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do every day and everything for us. Moving on to the trustees report. I asked to add the scholarship approval. I completely dropped the ball on this last meeting. I think we had a lot of other things going on here, but we were given the information from the Masconomet scholarship. Is this one or the vocational school? Maybe I pulled up the wrong one.
I'm sorry, I didn't have any details. You just told me.
We paid one and we still owe one. We had two,
I believe the Masco is the one that's owed them.
okay, we
That's
paid,
who we got an email from.
right, okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, this is one I have no, I'm playing a lot of catch up on. I believe Masco's guidance is who emailed you and I.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was awarded, and we have the trustee, I don't know that we mentioned the names in the, not the awardee, the student's name, but, we do.
I think we do mention.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
names in
there's
the
No,
past.
no
nothing
harm.
behind
Yeah,
it.
it's
I
public
have the
information.
name here.
So it's Noah,
Noah
no, Venetia.
Venezia
Yeah.
or Venezia.
And so we've got to approve $1,000 to be able to pay that. This was our last.
Yeah, I mean, this year was,
Did you already approve that, or is this
Well, we approved moving
1,000?
forward with it. Now we have to approve the payment
the
of it.
payment? Okay.
Because the payment method differs because of the recent transaction we had with the trustees funds.
I'll make a motion
Right.
to approve the funds of $1,000 for that Masco student.
now, how did the Essex Tech student get paid?
It was before Loretta left. So I'm not sure.
No, I mean, when we
Yeah.
We still had the checkbook at the time.
when we voted to turn over the funds to the town, we're also supposed to keep out, we knew that this spring would be the last, scholarships. So we're supposed to keep money out
For this.
for this, but if it didn't
It did not
happen,
happen for the Masco
Okay.
student.
We kept 1,000 for the vocational student and
okay,
they received $1,011 or something with interest, whatever that, ended up
Okay.
closing that account, but
so
No.
this will be the last scholarship.
we're done. We're out of
Right.
scholarship business.
Okay.
Unless,
So I'll second,
okay. Thank you. All in favor of that? Susan? A roll call.
Susan, yeah.
Aye.
Okay, Susan, Maria,
Aye.
Costa,
yes.
Mark, Marcy, aye. All in favor? Allison, obviously not here. Thank you for that. And so if Mr. Noah Venetia is watching, I'm sorry for the delay in getting this to you, but I think he's already been awarded through the school. We go to school or something. But we'll figure that out behind the scenes. We're done with that.
Now that you've approved it, I can put it on the next warrant. And basically, we just write a check to the Masco Scholarship Fund and they'll distribute the money to Mr. Venezia.
Great.
And
Good evening. Welcome to our meeting.
this is the balances as of 9:30.
So Costa, you are handing out the balances that the town has, but I don't see on the agenda a vote about assigning you as the trustee. We were talked about that.
There was,
Did we put you in
Yeah.
there last
Yeah.
time? Because we did so much. We did.
September, I
A
believe.
few, yeah,
I
couple
probably did.
meetings ago.
September 8th, is it? No, September 8th seems like 100%.
It really does.
I don't think we voted.
They didn't vote on September?
No,
uh,
I don't,
I
I
think
think
you
we
all-
talked about it.
I
said
think you all
I-
joked about it so much that.
I
it made
joked
me-
about it. I
You
said,
did, you joked
It was
about-
me, that's why I'm bringing it up again. I didn't see it in the minutes, so
Susan, do you recall us voting for Costa
It's not
as,
in the minutes.
as a?
it's not in the minutes of September 8th.
I'm adding it to the December agenda.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'll nominate you then, Costa.
You guys talked
Okay.
about it so much, you had me full.
Because I joked, because we want to do it then. We were told, so
So this
we have
is,
the balances here.
Great information on this, thank you. Really amazing market's doing. We need to read these into the minutes or anything? or-
no,
Okay,
for your information.
thank you. Great. Without any other information, I'll move forward to the acting director's report.
Thank you. I have quite a number of items tonight. So let me start with the fiscal 26 budget. So currently we're in a good spending space for where we are. We're about a third of the way through the fiscal year. When it comes to salary, we're a little short because we've been having a pretty significant vacancy in the department head position. We've had some other vacancies across the year, so we're doing great in terms of salary left to spend. In terms of other areas, we're at about 30% spent on electricity and water. Pretty limited on heating fuel because the season for that just began, and we'll start, I would imagine as soon as your next meeting, we'll start seeing heating fuel tick up. Equipment repair, we've seen quite a lot of repair work this year, so that account is a sub account that's currently in a deficit. We'll have other areas in the budget to make up for it. But we've already had some service by E&E, our HVAC company, as well as by Wayne Alarm, where they had to replace the panel that controls our residential burglar alarm. Of note, I'm working to put on our capital plan, when our new facilities director starts, some alarm upgrade work. Our alarm is starting to show its technologic age. Unfortunately, so many of these things age faster than they used to. And from what Wayne Alarm tells me, portions of our alarm system are from before the renovation still. And the panel that we have, they do not do service upgrades for anymore. So looking for some capital information for next year with our new facilities director on board. There's potential to integrate the security system for this building into what we're adding on for the two new municipal buildings. There may be some cost savings there. So nothing to report other than the plan to deal with that when the new facilities director starts on December 1. But just something to put in the back of your mind. But we've made it work for now with the repairs that Wayne Alarm completed.
Who's doing the alarm for the new facility?
For security alarms, we're using Ockers.
It's always been an issue, or we talked about it before, is the lights staying on. Is that something that those security companies can manage?
Maybe not the security company, but we did already start talking about this problem with our facilities director candidates during the interviews. As like
Oh, that's
one of,
interesting.
like, we don't have centralized facility. For example, the library lights are on an antiquated computer and they don't work on the timing schedule and they pop on in the middle of the night. And I think our new facilities director is eager and excited about the challenge, and hopefully he'll get better quotes than we were getting, or may know how to do some tweaking to the system that we don't know how to do. Our facilities director, just for those that weren't following the select board process, will be beginning on December 1st. Peter Coleman, he's joining us from many years of facilities direction at Gordon College. So he's been managing a 31 building campus of new and old buildings, some residential, some commercial. So we're very excited to have him join the team at the beginning of next month. But the hope is this, that he'll spend quite a bit of time at the new municipal campus as we do commissioning. But then when he's not there, he's going to be learning this building as well. Because this building has, I would say, the secondary most number of needs besides the two new buildings.
I'm glad you gave them all the candidates that as a test question.
It was a useful
I think
topical
that's a-
example.
I think that's a pretty cool thing to thought of, Jackie.
It's a pretty topical example right now, unfortunately.
It's something we could have figured out.
Yeah, and we did ask him too about like elevator experience, because between this building and the new two buildings, we'll have 3 elevators to manage. And there may be some cost savings in a shared elevator contract for all the town buildings. There's a lot of centralization that'll go on with facilities that I think I can't wait. I'm super excited. It's a really embarrassing thing to be this excited about, but I'm excited.
It's important.
It's so critical, and I think we'll see a benefit to all of our buildings very soon.
Very good job.
Yeah, thank you to the team. Paul Goodwin, Justin, and I were all together on that interview and recommendation. On training and education, most of the training and education the staff have done so far this year has been through MVLC. So those have cost us nothing. So been thinking we'll be getting some requests for the spring for some conference attendance. Our MVLC budget, which includes our Merrimack Valley membership and our program budget, are at 82%, and that's because we pay almost all of our Merrimack Valley Library Commission memberships in the beginning of the fiscal year. So all that's left is programming dollars. Postage, we've used some. Contractual services has been going pretty strong. It's at almost 50% of the budget. That includes annual memberships to things like Wayne Alarm and our HVAC company, as well as our printing system, and a few other of our membership renewals. And then office supplies, we did do some purchasing of some new carts, so this line is a little bit extended right now on office supplies, but we're in pretty good sense for the rest of the fiscal year. But we did buy some new book carts because we needed a few more than we had, pretty high impact items, so that budget line is a little bit over, but we will clean that up before the end of the year. Building maintenance, working through that, mostly just buying supplies, still 22,000 left in that line, so that's, we're in good shape with that. And then books and publications, we're at 17% spend. That's on track, but I'd like to increase the frequency. I did ask the staff who are in charge of buying books and materials to expend their current budget for those materials by April 30th of this year. Partially because we will have a secondary materials allocation at the May 2026 annual town meeting when we fund the union contract, and it will increase your salary and wage budget for the year, mid-year. We will also have to do a ancillary materials spend increase to ensure that we're in compliance for our certification. So I've asked everyone to expend their current budget based on last year's budget by April 30th, so that when town meeting approves the allocation for the union contract and additional materials, they have time in May and June before the fiscal year ends to make that spend happen. And that'll be recommended that we fund that through free cash. So right now it's 17.2% on books and publications. We've had a couple of our museum passes fall out of use. So I do have the team researching some new museum passes to bring on as part of our offerings. We also have swapped out a database since our new assistant director, Robin Luna, started. We didn't have anyone use one of our databases last year. It's a periodicals database. So her and Paige Cole, our ILL librarian, are researching a different database to bring on board. So some new museum offerings will be coming soon. Some new database offerings coming soon. And then I want to credit the team. Our new adult services librarian, Louis Tamayo, got started and is already starting to make additions to our DVD and Blu-ray collection. Paige is working on the Library of Things. Stacy Zubiel in children's collection has had a huge amount of new children's books coming in the door. There's been a lot of releases. So folks are doing a really good job to spend those programming budgets. But it's getting very tricky because we're looking for other sources, because Baker and Taylor, one of the two big book vendors, has gone out of business as of this month. So all of our Ingram orders are slowing down. So we're looking for other creative sources to buy big book purchases because everyone that had Ingram is still with Ingram, and everyone that had Baker and Taylor is switching to Ingram. And there's really no other large bulk vendor that supports libraries with the pricing that we need. So we're trying to find other creative solutions, but we're staying tuned to see what MBLC and MBLC end up offering, if there are any other solutions. So that's materials spend. And then we've had some minimal mileage for the home delivery program, some fuel. And then we paid out the encumbrances from last year, and those are all closed out. So that's the fiscal 26 budget report to date, if there are any other questions on that.
Very thorough, thank you. I know
Yeah.
you're way overworked and very busy all the time, so we appreciate you spending the time to bring us up to speed on that.
Yes, it's a fun time because I'm starting to build fiscal 27 so that we can have a conversation about that at your early December meeting. So I'm in the weeds right now, pretty deeply on the library's budget. We're doing a zero-based budget this year, so I am down in the weeds. In terms of annual reporting, the financial errors report was submitted, and I do have some year-over-year statistics I want to share with everyone tonight. Now that reporting is completed, we're a little bit down on programming, which we anticipated we might be. So we're seeing great attendance of the programs that we're holding, but we did do some reduction of program offerings this summer. We did cut about half of our children's offerings this summer because of the staffing shortages. So those are certainly reflecting in the numbers, but when we look at the numbers of the programs that we do, when we do offer the programs, we're having really good attendance numbers. And we had our best summer in a couple of years for summer reading, so those were really great numbers. Those are considered passive programs rather than active programs, so they don't count to those program numbers. Our adult program numbers are holding really steady, and our teen program numbers are holding pretty steady based on the last couple of years. So I'm putting together a more in-depth report on all of that. Most of our programs that seem to be doing well across all age groups are arts and crafts based. So whether it's a children's program that's a story time and an arts and craft, or the adult programs with the felting, those tend to be real big hits. The painting programs, the faux stained glass, the real stained glass, those types of programs seem to be doing really well. We are offering more virtual adult programs as well, where other libraries have certain types of book clubs that might be too niche to offer here, where we might not have a big enough population in Middleton to support a whole book club about a particular theme or area, but other area groups are having book talks and authors come in about those topics. So we're trying to offer more of those virtual offerings for people that are interested. And we're just looking already at right now, February and March, crazy to believe. So booking vendors for February, March, and also booking summer vendors for next summer based on what was popular this year in the last couple of years. So the programmers are really busy. And I'm trying to put together a more succinct annual report. It's about 45 pages of data and statistics, and it's a lot to dig through. So I'm putting together some summaries for you, but just want to give you some of those high level points of where we're doing well and where there might be room for growth.
Do we have any way of tracking frequent flyers, people who take multiple programs?
We do based on our registration programs. However, we do have some programs, like for example, yoga was in this room tonight before the meeting, and those are drop-ins. So we kind of know familiar faces with those. But for the registration programs, we do have frequent flyers. And we also have some folks that I will offer occasionally frequent no-shows. We're very familiar with those people as well that register and end up not coming, which is difficult when we have wait lists. But we'll talk more about that during policy review.
I can add to your programs. I was here as a host of the painting again with Miss Julie. The ghost of the theme, and while I was very proud of my octopus, my ghost was really, really bad. Terribly, terribly bad. I was embarrassed. I did Casper actually. Yeah, every one of my family laughed at me. So, but the reason I'm talking about that is because it was very well attended, and it was attended by almost 15 young ladies from Danvers High School, and they're in the honors English class, and they all need a certain number of points that they have to attend a certain number of events like this. And I asked them why they didn't go to their own library, and they said our programs were far superior, had a better range of options and choices, and they've come here before for other programs, and they really appreciate our library. So thank you to the friends for supporting that. It was a really cool event. Yeah, they really liked our, but they don't have the programs we have.
So, one of the ways I would think that you can, encourage people, to come take programming, participate in programs, is to publicize people's experiences. So if in in a newsletter, we,
Testimonials, if you will.
yeah, but I've taken this program, that.
Like a review, like a restaurant review kind
Yeah.
of thing.
So, because if people see that, they may know the person and, they're having a good time doing it, hey.
Well, like any review you see, if you see things on Amazon or wherever,
Mhm.
or a Goodreads or 5 stars or 4 stars for a book, it makes you want to read it or do, yeah, that's a great idea.
Maybe we could ask the honors English ladies at the Riverside to give us a good Google review or a testimonial.
Yeah,
Testimonial, since we don't have. I think that'd be a bit easier on the Facebook, you can do it on the Facebook, because do they not, I don't know if there's a spot when
I
they
think-
show the programs.
it might be worthwhile soliciting them to the trustees email, and then we can put them on the website or
Good
attach
idea.
them to the future version of the same
That would be
program.
perfect, yeah.
I think it can get a little unwieldy when you do it through, like the Yelps and the Googles.
Not,
Especially-
no, but on
especially,
Facebook,
yeah.
you can make comments and say. I
Yeah,
went
but
to this
those are-
program.
Those are dangerous and
So
honestly,
it's on there.
a lot of the kids, some of them we don't want to do it,
Oh,
but
well,
the, some of the kids, we don't encourage them to go there, then they won't say anything back. But some of the kids these days, these kids are adverse to social media. They're really not signing up like they used to, or they're getting off social
Yeah,
media.
we're seeing it. It's an interesting,
Change,
shift,
it's a swing, yeah.
we still, I mean, we do pretty well, good numbers. I was actually sitting down with, our children's programming librarian, looking at the Facebook and analytics, at the end of last week. And we do see quite a bit of engagement through Facebook and through, the Facebook events. Cause I had asked the question of like, are we really getting a return on, the advertising work that we do on Facebook? And we do. But I think the testimonials would be nice, like as part of the program description on the website, like if you're learning about felted bird programming and we have the review from the last time the felted performer came as like a testimonial, to me, that's like a nice appropriate place to put that info. But yeah, let me bring it back to the programmers too, and maybe they have another take. But I think testimonials in general are a helpful tool.
I think the young ladies in that program were really good communicators. I mean, they were talking and sharing stories, and I asked a lot of questions. They were very interactive, but a few of them were singing, like they were a singing group as well, so they were harmonizing over here. It was a lot, it was a lot
A
going
lot
on.
of activity.
But if we have their contact info, I think they'd be willing.
Yeah,
They were really positive. Sorry, please carry on.
No, it's great. Building updates, we just had our elevator inspection, part 1. There will still be another part to that with the elevator company and the alarm company. So if anyone does see in our elevator that the certificate is from last year, that's why, because there's still part 2 of the inspection for this year, but we are in compliance right now. I already talked about the Wayne alarm panel work that had been done. And again, just super eager for our new facilities director to get started. But the building's been in good shape. The HVAC company came out and brought us into heat mode, thankfully. And seeing almost all the zones working perfectly or close to. As far as programs and service updates, I did include for the trustees a list of programs where we'd love to have your volunteerism again. That was really well received by the staff and by the community. And there's a few that are on days during, particularly in February during school vacation week, where we're programmed very heavily to meet the demand, that we'd love a couple extra sets of hands if folks are available. Mark, we did note that painting for tweens in January is back. So if you're, I know that's like a series you've become a fan of. So
This was terrible. I'm telling you.
don't wanna tempt you too much,
It was
but
embarrassing. Yeah, I appreciate your email. I've been traveling a lot, so I haven't looked at
yeah,
my dates, so.
we're early. But I think with it being school vacation week for some of those dates in February, people really responded well, and I think the staff really appreciated the support. So if there's areas where folks can volunteer, these are light lifts in the sense that you're pretty much welcoming people and then keeping an eye on the room.
Or
So-
participating.
Or participating if you're interested in painting.
Can I interrupt?
Please, Susan, please. We've been waiting for you to interrupt.
I'm sorry, but I'm wondering if maybe the trustee participation could kind of be a regular thing to like offer a little relief for the work, the people that schedule this stuff. And maybe we could do this on a regular basis. And I've been thinking about that. I mean, I absolutely loved the the henna one, and, you know, I've done another one with the stained glass, making the fake stained glass, and, you know, just having the trustees be visual at some of these. I know some people do work, but, you know, I would be more than willing to do it kind of on a regular basis if that would, you know, it gets us out there as a trustee, you know. So that's just something I'm throwing out.
I like it. Maybe we all try to do at least one or two a year or something and sort of be seen, and maybe even spread that out so that, so the staff does see us. I enjoy it too, and it's, I think it's a great point that they probably appreciate seeing us, so, yeah, great idea.
Jackie,
Maria's in.
I already checked too.
Two
But I
of them.
want to know the craft of the children on January 21st. Do you know what the craft is? I'm just curious.
No, but I can find out before we leave tonight.
Annie might know.
And I
Are you
think that
done?
might be an in-house craft, but
Okay.
I,
What about the fairy princess? What
oh,
is
the
it?
Ferris Princess is
Ferris-
great because
what
she's
is
a
that?
performer
Oh, it's a
who
performance?
comes in and I don't know what princess is going to be coming on that day, but she is a delight. It is a very fun time when the princess comes to visit us. You know, as a municipal form of government, we appreciate royal visits
Oh,
when they
me too.
appear.
I'll
And
do
she's
those two.
she's
Jackie.
excellent.
You can put me for
The craft,
January 21st, believe it or not, January 21st. I was like,
and then
and then February 17th.
thank you.
I will do those two.
Put me in for the painting and as it gets closer.
And painting.
I think so.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know the staff will be pleased. One Up gameplay is a long stretch, and we've often broken that into 2 sessions if folks are looking at the 17th.
The February 17th?
Yeah, we've done like 3 to 4:30 and 4:30 to 6 so that folks don't do the full 3 hours. It's a long haul. But we were a little while out on those, but I
I know
appreciate.
Allison loved that one. She did.
Yeah,
She
so
really
maybe when
liked
she's
it.
back,
'Cause
yeah.
she's really into the tweens, so she
Yeah.
liked that one.
But so I'll send out an updated email with who signed up for what and with what vacancies we still have. We have a little bit of time to get that sorted, but I know the staff will be super appreciative of the support. And it's great to have you guys in the building outside of your meetings, so that'll be fun.
Thank you.
Great idea, Susan. Thank you for interrupting. Keep it up.
As far as staffing updates go, we did post, we have a couple circulation assistant positions open. Hard to keep part-time people right now. People need full-time opportunities, and when they get those offers, we encourage them to take them. So looking for some part-time folks in the circulation assistant role, and then also a full-time opening. And just want to say, respect the privacy of our former teen librarian, Felicia Gaminsky, but just a public thank you for her hard work with the teen population, our teen collection, and the programming that she did. She's been with the Flint for over 5 years, maybe even over 6. And she's, moved on, taken a new direction. Want to respect, her privacy, but also just commend her and say thank you. And just let you know that we're looking for a teen librarian. At this point, that posting's on middletonma.gov/jobs. That is a full-time opening. We also posted that with the Merrimack Valley, the Massachusetts Library Board of Commissioners job board, and we're already seeing quite a number of applicants for the full-time role with some good experience, credential. Having experience directly with the teen population is definitely a plus there.
What's the salary range, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh,
It's public, so.
It is on our website, but let me,
Oh, no,
I think it's currently advertised as a starting rate for a non-master degree librarian at $23.87. And then there's a bump if you're master degreed for step 1. However, that's based on the fact that the union contract doesn't get funded until May. So that's just the pay for right now. There will be increases on both the non-union and the master degree pay scales once town meeting makes that allocation.
Thank you.
And that's on the website.
I also want to say that just about Felicia, she was spectacular. Every time I dealt with her for my book club or my own book, she was great, a great, professional. She had a very great, friendly way about it. If you want to say customer service, that seems more cold to me. I thought she was very friendly, very personable, a great asset to the library, and I wish her well.
Yeah, I will pass that along.
I appreciate it if you do talk to her.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know the team here, you know, wishes her well.
Oh, definitely.
And then last but not least, library director search update and review. So I have a number of items on this topic, Mr. Chair, that I'm gonna go through tonight,
Please.
if I may.
Please.
So I wanna pre-apologize for any of you that watch the select board meeting. This will become repetitive for you quickly. So sorry, Costa, because you get to sit through this update twice in different ways. With only one vote. But as you all know, we were negotiating with a library director candidate, and we thought we were gonna be bringing her on for January 1. But she has made the personal decision to not join us at the Flint. She would have been relocating to do so. And she made the decision that that's not what she wanted to do. So Justin and I made some assessments. We did post for an interim again. We talked with some of our contacts at the regional and the state level that we've made in the library world since the last time we did this process, which was back in June and July. And there's been some retirements, there's been some shift in the ground. So we're reaching out to folks, and we've got this posting, which is in front of the trustees tonight for an interim library director. I am very much able to manage the staff here, but I am not able to be a mentor in their librarianship, and that's very important. And our assistant director has only been with us for a few weeks. She's still training, she's still getting to know the staff in the building. So we're putting the feelers back out there to see if there's an interim. I will also offer, we contemplated just posting the position again right away. But when we look at the calendar, I actually gave you a pretty accurate summary back in June, July of where I thought we were going to be with the search process if everything went right. Folks' calendars were a little bit busy, so that slowed us down a touch. But we were pretty on track from what we had predicted up until we weren't. But if we were to post right now, we would be doing it over the Thanksgiving holiday. We'd be trying to do library director screening committee process right after Thanksgiving into holiday parties, Hanukkah, Christmas, all of the holidays, the year end calendar and New Year's. There's just even like Veterans Day tomorrow. It's just not a good time of year to be out in the marketplace. We think it would really reduce the competitiveness of the pool. So we did post for the interim. It's certainly an appointment of this body, and when we have candidates, we want to bring them to you as soon as possible. But we want to see if there's anybody out there. So we did go through Bibliotemps, which is the state agency for temporary librarians and circulation assistants and directors. We know how much we would have paid them as a consulting firm to hire and bring on someone, and they have a markup that they take off of the top. Instead of paying that to Bibliotemps and then having them pay a lesser hourly rate to an interim, we just took what we would have paid Bibliotemps out of pocket and put that as the pay to try to make it more competitive. I want to be abundantly clear that Justin and I, as the administration team, will be available to support the library team as much as possible, and I continue to be in the building as much as possible. I have other responsibilities that become more time sensitive once we get to the end of this calendar year, starting the annual budgeting process. I'm also collective bargaining with all of our units right now. So there's just only so much bandwidth that I can give. So we're putting our feet in the water to see if there's other interim candidates that might come forward. Really looking for a retired library director first and foremost. But also, if not a retired library director, another retired municipal department head who's got budgeting and HR experience. And then talking to some library directors who are currently sitting to come in and do some mentorship with our team.
So you're considering non-degree or librarians to come in? I did watch the select board meeting.
Yeah,
That
I
was
mean,
thrown out by the
first and foremost, a retired library director.
Mhm.
That's the number, but if we can't get that, then at least some managerial relief and bringing in some mentor library directors to support people in their library area
So
work.
if you brought in someone who was administrative, then you bring in those mentors. to
Exactly.
cover that.
Because that's
Okay.
We
For the
might not
gap.
find a unicorn who can cover
Right.
both of those things that we need.
Mhm.
But having someone who can come in and keep up with the accounts payable and the data reporting and the payroll and those administrative functions that I've been handling, while supporting the staff and being a person in the building to cover breaks, and help, when we've got a couple programs, somebody calls out sick in the winter, you're struggling for desk coverage quite quickly sometimes. So having somebody in the building 35 hours a week, we think is the appropriate amount to extricate me, but still make sure that the library staff is appropriately supported during this transition. And it gives the trustees a little bit of breathing room, while we go through the posting process for the permanent position.
So you mentioned briefly, but I just want to have a little bit more detail that even for this interim director person, it's not gonna be like a screening committee like we had when we were doing the director. You're going to bring us just the library trustees, the candidate?
We're
or
just gonna bring the
potential-
so Justin and myself will interview anyone that comes in.
Yes,
We'll vet
As
them
initial,
and make
yeah.
sure they've got minimum credentials and fit, and then bring them to you with a recommendation and allow you to meet them and interview them as we did in June when we thought we had an interim director the last time. And have you appoint that interim person,
Mhm.
because we do need an interim under the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Somebody's got to be acting director at a minimum.
That's why you're.
It is why I'm here. And so like that's the best case scenario, just so that we can get someone in as quickly as possible.
Can I assume that you offered this to Robin, current assistant director, and she wasn't interested in being the interim director?
We have had discussions about it. I wouldn't say it was as formal as an offer, but she's still gaining ground here. And I want to make sure she's in a position to learn and succeed. And it's just not been enough time. Like I'm still the primary person doing payroll right now. She's learning our accounts payable. She's learning the building. She's learning the building's interesting facility, ebbs and flows. And it wouldn't be fair to her at this point, 5 weeks in.
And
Well, I
it
don't know
also,
where her skills, I'm sorry.
and it
She was a
also,
director, wasn't she?
no, she was an assistant.
She was an
She was-
interim. She was briefly the interim director in
But she
Boxford.
was an interim director.
Yeah, with and
Just trying to
and
refresh
with
your
credit to
memory.
her, but with a much smaller staff
Of
and no,
course, yeah.
they're in the town hall over in Boxford, so
Yes.
no facilities. So
Correct.
on the library side of things, yes, but in terms of, managing the team and managing the union environment, the building and all of Boxford does all the financial stuff in the accounting office. So we do a lot more, we're a lot more on the financials here than, yeah. So, she's great. I want to give her the room to grow and settle into her role. But, even with Robin, having another person 35 hours a week that has this expertise would be, I think, a huge benefit to the building and the staff.
I guess it's something we'll have to maybe revisit in a couple of months if something doesn't percolate from your posting.
Yeah, and I'm hoping something will percolate soon.
If it doesn't, we'll have to revisit it.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit it. And I did send out the permanent position job description, and any feedback you all have tonight on that job description would be helpful.
That's the same as the one you had for us screening committee, so I looked at. on screening
Yes,
committee,
it is the
exactly
same one. It's the one I posted back in the summertime when we posted the position, but I was asked to include it on the agenda as a discussion point for tonight, so if
But
folks,
nothing's changed.
nothing's
I saw.
changed. I think it's in really good shape.
Mhm.
We refresh our job descriptions really regularly here. It's, updated with labor compliance, and it was vetted by the Collins Center for content when we did the common class in terms of the confidentiality, the supervision received, the supervision provided, the financial responsibility, the building responsibility. I think it's underestimated that the library, outside of police, fire, and public works, the library director has one of the bigger staffs. Certainly the COA has a really large team. Many of those are part-time and volunteers. But this is the next biggest full-time team after those core public safety, public works departments. And it has a large 2-story building as well.
Well, is this a good time for me to read Allison's, or were you going to read her I know she did. I was hoping you would.
Mr. Chair. I'm not the chair. If I was the chair, I would be, but you're the chair, so you can.
Allison is absent this evening, but sent me an email and asked me to share this with our, to read this into the minutes, I
I have
guess.
to
and
say,
share it.
she did text me and ask me if it was okay if she jumped in, and I said, yes, just talking about director, but I don't know if it went through. It looks like it was delivered.
Yeah, she's not in the waiting
I was
room.
gonna just ask you, Jackie, that's why. I
It's
kept
right
look-
up there, so you
I
could see.
kept looking up in case it popped up, and I said to her, now would be a good time. It was when we first started, but
Yeah.
maybe she couldn't get in, but you didn't see anybody pop in.
We would,
just to
it would
say
like
hi,
flash
have
it
them
up.
to read
It would flash at us. If
It would?
Yeah.
Okay, I did, it says delivered, so I said, yes, good time.
Asked her, well,
No, go ahead.
I would,
You should go.
I mean, she did ask you to read it into the record,
yeah,
so
let's just do that. And
And
if
she
she jumps
texted me
in,
about
she
15
can
minutes ago, and I said, yes, and she,
Here we
maybe
are.
she doesn't have a good signal.
move it on.
Yeah, I
Um,
definitely.
Excuse me.
I have a good one.
Yeah, no, I have it. I'm just wondering where to start. This to clarify my point. So what? Us?
It says right here.
Start with, I asked
I
Jackie.
asked
Yeah.
Jackie, that's right, yeah. I asked Jackie for a draft of the new library director posting and job description to review before posting it. Our board of trustees need to consider the language and review for updates if needed. This was not done the last round. As we have, again, Allison's words, as we have discovered, it is mandatory that an interim, temporary or permanent Flint library director must have an MLIS, professional degree in library science, or experience that is shown that is essential. Oh, I'm sorry. Our experience has shown it is essential that the residents of Middleton and the library staff deserve a trained, degreed, experienced librarian with an MLIS and current experience in leadership role. I chaired the MLTA Library Trustees Conference last Saturday with over 60 library trustees and MBLC commissioner and other officials in attendance. I took the opportunity to ask them to guide any qualified library directors to apply for Middleton's opening. Mark, please read and represent. Yeah. We can provide you a copy.
I have, yeah.
So these are Allison's remarks.
So would it-
Anybody else? I'm
Are
sorry.
there any updates or notes on the job description anyone could provide?
Well, I think she saw the job description. I think in my reading of it, I think she was looking to see if any edits need to be done, but we're doing the same one as before, so I don't think I should be speaking for someone else, but she probably.
Yeah,
even changed
so
it.
just to give you a sense of
Yeah.
timeline, the previous time it had been updated was back when we did the Collins Center conference class in 2022, and they reviewed it for accuracy, in terms of what the person was doing at the time, but also looking at our 12 comparable communities that we use for various salary and fee studies. And then they also reviewed it to make sure that it was in legal compliance, with like just, standard protocols. And then I reviewed it again, so the date of edit on it is July 28th, 2025, because that was the last time that I made any edits to it. And I believe at that time I did change it to reflect some of the softwares that we currently use that were outdated in the posting, but didn't make any other real material updates from the last time. And then I apologize, there was one piece that I did incorporate based on feedback from the trustees, which was the strong preference requirement for the MLIS degree. I had heard that loud and clear, so I didn't feel I needed to reconsult the trustees for that change, because that feedback had been made pretty vocally to me
And by the select board too.
by the select board. So I made that change, and that's where we are on the job description. If folks want to reach out to me this week, if they've got any other questions, comments, concerns, the notice of vacancy itself is an HR produced document, because there's things on there that are just not things you can change. It's a benefited position, it's full-time, it's non-union, it's management. It's 40 hours a week. The pay is based on the common class and the budget. And we post a hiring range. And then all the other details come out of the job description. I think the only thing I included in the notice of vacancy that's not in the job description is that next year we'll be celebrating the 135th year of the Flint And I thought that would be good for candidates to know, because it's quite an accomplishment and something we should be starting to think about how we're gonna commemorate.
Alongside of the towns.
300 from 2028.
No, it was 28.
Yeah, we're a little early on the town side.
Okay.
Jackie, just under the recommended, it says recommended on page 3, recommended minimum qualifications about it. So why do we say minimum when that's what we want, that they must have it? Is that,
Because there is a provision under Mass General Law where you, if someone is within, 3 months of getting their MLIS and you did want to hire them, the interim waiver
Gotcha.
process would allow
That's fine.
that. It's just, so we're not overly bound.
I got it, thank you. I
Of
was
course.
wondering, I just wondered that, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
absolutely.
certainly there's a strong
It
preference.
gives you that if they're just almost, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha, thank you.
Or for example, like not every degree is exactly an MLIS. Some of the degree programs, like I had an applicant recently come in with a degree in library media. Not like terrible, sorry, we're closing the building for the night, so staff's probably gathering people. That's okay. But we had someone come in with a library media degree, master's. Maybe
We
not.
also had candidates when we were screening, they weren't MLIS, they were
One or two.
I forget what they were. They were a little bit worded a little different
Yeah.
in different parts of the
Different
country.
state, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we just want to give that
Yeah.
flexibility because we do want to cast our net as wide as
I
possible.
appreciate that clarification.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I'm of the mindset to let the cobblers cobble when you're head of HR and. assuming
I mean,
it's pretty well written.
I think, that how it's written, it's really an HR function. The function, if there's, a duty or something like that that is not included, that we want to include it, then we tell HR, include this, and the verbiage gets written, but I don't see anything missing in terms of, topics.
I don't see anything missing, I just was wondering
Yeah.
about that minimum, and now that makes a lot of sense, if someone's close to it, it makes a lot of sense to give you the flexibility. Otherwise, if we said must, it would, not allow.
Yeah, it's, we pay the
Potential
lawyers for
opportunity.
must versus shall versus can versus may.
Yes, semantics, yes. So to speak. Okay, thank you.
So I will reach out to Trustee Sloan. I didn't hear from her in advance of the meeting and I sent the description out on Friday. So I'll check in with her and see if she wants to meet one-on-one when she's back in town.
I'm surprised she didn't pop in, because she texted and said, can I pop in? I said, yeah, go ahead, but just talking about it. So it could be a signal problem.
All right, well, so do you need a vote on that or you just verbal approval and we're good?
I don't need anything from you at this
Alright.
time. I appreciate everyone taking a hard look at it.
My pleasure. Thanks for that and thanks for all you've done and continue to do for this library.
And I will say, I just want to add that we're, not as short-staffed as we might have been in the summertime, but we're not full-staffed either. And I would just ask that folks stop in when you're here, check in with the staff, say hello, let them know how well they're doing. They are so enthusiastic and so supportive and want to be here. And I had multiple people today do a double shift where they did from 9 to 8 because a couple people wanted to take the day off. And a couple people ended up doing a really long day today, kept our doors open. And I just want to make sure that whenever we can, we're saying thank you to them because they're putting in the hours, putting in the work, buying things for our collection, providing support to residents all the time. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on that goes unnoticed that they are getting done. And they are a very productive group in terms of what they're still getting done. And I think it can't be emphasized enough.
Oh,
Can I interrupt again?
Please.
I have a question. We hire people part-time. Why can't we, like if we hired full-time, yeah, we have to give benefits and whatever, but if we hired some of these people full-time, we wouldn't be constantly having this turnover. So if you had two part-time people and you hired one full-time, is that something that can be considered, or is that budget, or is it?
So Susan, that would require a supplemental budget request.
Uh-huh,
Because right now we have 4 budgeted part-time positions of circulation assistant.
uh-huh.
And the cost of all 4 circulation assistants is I think still less than if we brought on somebody full-time with a benefits package.
Oh, okay.
It's not apples to apples in that sense.
Yeah, no, it's just that, people, obviously they're looking for, they need full-time jobs if they're living independently almost, but they're taking this as like a stopgap measure.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people who are maybe trying to decide if they want a career in libraries join us.
Uh-huh,
One of our part-timers is now full-time at the Linfield Public Library, for example. One of our part-timers that we brought on this summer got a full-time job offer from their museum job, and, we wish them the best in that opportunity.
right, no, and I mean, and I'm saying they do an excellent job, but
And I think, so to your point, it is a supplemental budget request. I can tell you that from putting on my assistant town administrator hat, I've been given pretty aggressive guidelines from the select board and finance committee that they will not be entertaining an override this year. If
okay,
trustees would like to give me the direction to put together a supplemental budget request, I'm certainly happy to do so. The most recent supplemental budget request that got the furthest was actually for an additional circulation assistant, another part-time person. I don't want to make light of it. It's kind of the nature of the beast with municipal
uh-huh,
that part-time is better than nothing when full-time are very expensive to onboard.
yeah, no, I appreciate you answering me.
But I will say, to your point, Susan, again, I don't want to make light of your comments because I think they're important. I will say that we had like a whole group that we brought on at the same time that started to leave at the same time. It's kind of unfortunately how it goes right now for the part-time jobs, and that's not library specific. I'm seeing that across all municipal disciplines. So, if you'd like me to put together a supplemental request, I'm happy to do so. I don't know if there's gonna be the funding or the appetite. So Assistant Town Administrator Jackie says, don't get your hopes up, but Acting Library Director Jackie says, I'll put together a supplemental request if that's the will of this board, and I'll do everything I can. And I'll talk to myself about it and see if I have good things to say.
No, I mean, I just wanted to put that out there.
It's a very fair point. So, what would you like me?
No, I don't think we can do anything. I don't think no. Mr. Costa over there.
Costa has to talk to himself as well, wearing
I
two
think
hats.
he's talking to himself.
Well, yeah, it's
It's
a
waste of time.
situation where we are going into the next fiscal year
Mhm.
with no unused levy capacity. We can, the Prop 2.5, we can raise the property tax, we raise by 2.5%. Growth can add to that, but it is at an all-time low. It hasn't been this low in 15 years.
Growth of
New
New-
taxable.
Yeah, so
New
new
taxable
growth is either new buildings or new lots.
or really big additions.
Yeah, so, health insurance is, premiums are likely to again be increasing, 18 to 20%. So put all that together, it will be a struggle just to fit what we're doing now town-wide into those numbers. And then that will leave nothing to try to add to any supplemental, budgets without an override, and I think there is no appetite among anyone to ask voters for another operating override after we just did in May.
I appreciate, I appreciate it. I just wanted to put it out there. And I also hear, what you folks are saying too.
I would offer, Susan, like putting on my library hat, cost as read of the situation is not inaccurate. It's gonna be a tough, bleak budget cycle. However, if you would like the supplemental request to be submitted so that it's just on the record.
No, I don't.
So one thing, and I recognize this isn't a private business, but in business, many businesses, especially the last year or two, will hire 2 or 3 new people, hoping that one of them stays. If we had the supplemental request and it was on there and it actually got passed, we've been struggling we haven't been fully staffed in quite a while. Having one extra person on that staff, if nothing else, may just backfill some of the empty spots.
I think for the union environment, it's hard to do that kind of maneuver,
Yeah.
in my experience, because then at best you're bringing on somebody in like a temp capacity, which we've done this summer to help. We've had people who had left our employ come back as temps. It's not a long-term solution. And it gets kind of little contrived in the public sector because of how our unions function. I hate to shoot down out of the box things, if I can make them work, but that's one of those areas of municipal HR law that is kind of black and white.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
With staff appreciation, is there a holiday gathering plan for the staff?
Yes, we are gonna be having a Thanksgiving holiday gathering, the Wednesday of Thanksgiving week. The staff will be having a potluck. And then, we'll be having a holiday party between, I don't remember if we picked December 19th or if we picked in between the following week during the school vacation week. But we will be having a couple holiday gatherings.
To make those sort of nicer for the staff, perhaps we could use some of our funds and ask the friends if they could share with us so instead of a potluck, where they bring their own. Oh.
I would not touch the potluck. I really love your generosity and you need to figure a path for it out. They really like the potluck part. That's like the part that they're most excited about.
Okay.
I'm not a potlucker, so I don't understand, but I am supportive of what they want. But maybe we should.
So for the December.
Yeah, let's talk offline.
Is that a new word, Jackie?
Potluck?
Potlucker, you said. You're not a potlucker.
I guess I'm not I don't know. I guess I made it
a new word.
I'd made a gerund or whatever it is.
Can we participate in a potluck meeting?
I think this has gone far.
I think we can talk offline.
Jackie, you
about
figure something out.
Yeah, I would love your support in figuring it out. Let me meet with the staff and talk about it and see best ways to provide support to them in those gatherings. Because I would love your support. They have some when we talk about the potluck, that's a very long-standing cultural tradition of this building is for it to be a potluck, and they're very proud of it. So I wouldn't want to infringe upon their traditions. As someone who 100% abandoned the potluck and just buys food from Memorial Hall for the culture of the people that I work with more regularly, they love me buying the food and Justin buying the food. This building, I think, would find it an offense on their traditions. So let me do a little reconnaissance and report back. But I appreciate the support, and any other morale help is appreciated.
Okay, thank you.
When is the December come back?
Great question, Annie. Can you let me follow up with you? Because they were between two dates and I don't know which one they picked. I'll email them to you. Great. But that is all of my report tonight. I apologize for its length.
We're happy to have you. You can take the time you need to tell us what's going on, because we appreciate all you do. And no one's gonna say otherwise, so thank you. And you're even making up new words, so it's on.
And so are you.
Hold on, you're being on it.
Potluck.
Potluckers and potlucking. All right, here we
Back to
go.
the Oxford English Dictionary.
Yes, you can have it.
Get one of
Um,
those.
Moving on to our next agenda item, policy review and potential approvals. I think these are just because we needed 2 meetings in a row to go through these to approve them. One we
So-
approved, one we made changes to, so this will be the first of 2, and the other one will be our second. Is that
This is the
correct?
second reading on program policy, so you're prepared to take a vote. Did you give one? Susan, this is in your email as well, the program policy with all the track changes accepted. And actually, I apologize. At your September meeting, you did vote on roles and responsibilities, so that is a mistype in the agenda. So policy number 4, roles and responsibilities, is all done. We just have to vote on treasurer at your next meeting.
Yes.
But this is policy number 32 with all of the changes, track changes accepted, and no other edits from where we left off
I
in
make a
September.
motion to accept policy
Second,
the second time.
I heard a second from
I
Susan.
think Susan did say so.
All in favor?
Maria,
Roll
aye.
call, yeah. Mark, aye.
And I'm the yes, so it's unanimous.
Very nice.
Nice job.
Thank you.
everybody. Moving on to the date for our next meeting, Monday, December 8th at 7 PM. Is that okay for everybody?
Yes.
I put it in my calendar already and it's good. So I'll take a motion to adjourn unless there's any other items to discuss. Susan, hearing none, will accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Costas.
It's so moved, you don't have to do anything further.
second,
There's no
Alright.
second,
And
but I think you have to do a
roll
roll
call.
call to adjourn.
Mark
Maria,
Markowski, aye.
Maria, aye.
Yes.
and Susan, I.
Motion adjourned carries unanimously at 8:16 PM. We'll call the meeting to an end. We appreciate everybody's time and attention, and for those of you that are watching at home, thank you.